Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm Mark Janish. This is the From the Bench podcast for September 9th, 2017. Tonight, we're going to go over some MLB scores, full slate of NCAA games, some in progress right now, but we're going to give you most of all, except the games that are in progress. We'll probably give you some partial scores. Being recorded from Carpinteria, California, affectionately Warrior Country. We're going to have some MLB, some NCAA, and some prep scores, some high school scores from northern and southern Santa Barbara County. I'm going to try in the future podcasts to insert a little bit more local flavor to the situation for those of you that are listening outside the Santa Barbara County area. Okay. I'll try to do that. There's a lot of things to get to tonight. So the only thing I'll be providing for you is last evening's football scores. Friday night lights do shine in Southern California. We're going to give you some CIF Southern Section scores. The CIF, the California Interscholastic Federation, is the governing body of sports for the state of California. So getting on to tonight's finals, NCAA football. It's been a very interesting day. Week 2. Partial scores as I have them right now. In the third quarter, Utah was leading BYU 16-0. Houston by 3 over a game Arizona team out of the Pac-12. Houston 17, Arizona 10. These are partials, by the way. These games are still going on, but this is the latest that I have. Boise State and Washington State. Washington State ranked number 20 with Luke Falk leading the charge and at quarterback for the Mike Leach-led Cougars, tied at 10. This is a surprise. Reser Stadium, Oregon State losing in the third quarter. Minnesota 27, Oregon State 14. We'll see what the Beavers do out of Corvallis, Oregon shortly. Finals, folks. Finals. The Auburn Tigers 6, the defending champion, college football champion. Clemson Tigers raised their record to 2-0. It was Clemson 14, Auburn 6. The Nittany Lions of Penn State ranked number 4. They raised their record to 2-0 with a 33-14 win over Pittsburgh. And this game was very, very interesting for about a half. The streak by Stanford over USC is over. David Shaw had won 3 in a row and 4 out of 5. But as I said, that streak is over. USC ran away with this game in the second half. Number 6 ranked USC improves to 2-0 with an opening Pac-12 victory over David Shaw and Stanford. Final score there, USC 42, Stanford 24. The Washington Huskies opened at home in Seattle with a 63-7 shellacking of Montana out of the Big Sky Conference. Michigan goes to 2-0. They scored 36. The Bearcats of Cincinnati outscored 14. So Michigan 36, Cincinnati 14. Florida Atlantic University 14. The Wisconsin Badgers out of the Big Ten ranked number 9, 31. So Wisconsin 31, Florida Atlantic 14. All right, moving on with more scores. LSU Tigers, 45. Chattanooga, 10. This is one of the surprise games of the evening or the day, I guess you could say. On Saturday was number 15th ranked Georgia facing number 24, Notre Dame. Georgia, 20. Notre Dame, 19. The Cardinal of Louisville, 47. The North Carolina Tar Heels, 35. And Delaware played Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech outscored Delaware 27-0. Virginia Tech improving to 2-0. Kansas State 55, Charlotte 7. Arkansas and TCU. TCU, Texas Christian University, out of Dallas, Texas, Fort Worth area, 28, Arkansas 7. Indiana State was shellacked by the Volunteers of Tennessee. Tennessee, number 25 ranked, 42. Indiana State 7. Virginia Tech's win over Delaware should improve their ranking as well. They were ranked number 18. Kansas State's win over Charlotte at 19 should also increase their poll standing and improve their poll standing for next week. Moving on, we had Tennessee Martin and Mississippi. Mississippi improved to 2-0 with a 45-23 victory over Tennessee Martin. Tennessee Martin falling to 1-1. The Mountaineers of West Virginia 56, East Carolina 20. Maryland over Towson. Maryland 63, Towson 17. Kentucky and Eastern Kentucky battled in an in-state rivalry. Kentucky improves to 2-0. 27, Eastern Kentucky falls to 0-2. They scored 16. Once again, Kentucky 27, Eastern Kentucky 16. The Duke Blue Devils out of the ACC 41. The Northwestern 17. In overtime, Iowa 44, Iowa State 41. Buffalo and Army played today. The Cadets of West Point 21, Buffalo 17 in the final. Georgia Tech played Jacksonville State. Georgia Tech improves to 1-1. They scored 37. Jacksonville State had 10. So Jacksonville State in the loss, 37-10, falls to 1-1. The Eagles of Boston College and then Wake Forest played this evening. Wake Forest 34, Boston College 10. Colorado 37, Texas State 3. University of Alabama Birmingham and Ball State played this afternoon. Ball State 51, UAB 31. Villanova and Temple played today. I'm not going to say it's the Battle of Philadelphia, but, well, you know. Temple 16, Villanova 13. Howard and Kent State. Kent State outscored a game Howard squad 38-31. Howard and Kent State fall each have 1-1 records after today's game. Howard falling to 1-1, Kent State improving to 1-1. Rutgers and Eastern Michigan. Eastern Michigan 16, they're 2-0. The Rutgers Scarlet Knights, after their loss 30-14 last week against the University of Washington 13. So 16-13, Eastern Michigan over Rutgers. Eastern Illinois and Northern Illinois played this evening. Northern Illinois 38, Eastern Illinois 10. Abilene Christian and Colorado State. The Rams of Colorado State 38, Abilene Christian 10. Virginia 34. I'm sorry, I checked that. Indiana 34, Virginia 17. Massachusetts and Old Dominion encountered each other today. Massachusetts fell to 0-3. It was Old Dominion 17, Massachusetts 3. The victors Old Dominion improved to 2-0. Middle Tennessee and Syracuse. Middle Tennessee 30. 14 points in the fourth quarter, outscoring Syracuse by 7 in that fourth quarter. Syracuse had a touchdown, and then Middle Tennessee doubled that with a 14-point fourth quarter. Once again, Middle Tennessee improves to 1-1. Syracuse falls to 1-1. Middle Tennessee 30. Syracuse 23. Western Michigan and Michigan State. The Spartans scored touchdowns in all four quarters. They beat Western Michigan 28-14. Western Michigan, of course, being beaten at the Coliseum last week by USC, falls to 0-2. And Sparty, the folks at Michigan State University, improved to 2-0. The Midshipmen of Navy, 23. Tulane, 21. Great game. Congratulations to Navy, and Navy improving to 2-0, by the way. Tulane following to 1-1. Appalachia State improves to 1-1 with a 54-7 win over Savannah State. Savannah State in their opener, of course, falling to 0-1. Miami of Ohio improves to 1-1. They had a 31-10 victory over Austin Peay, who falls to 0-2 today. Texas and the San Jose State Spartans played today. Texas is definitely coming to next week. They're going to have a rematch with the University of Southern California, a rematch. First time since the 2006 National Championship game at the Rose Bowl next week. But this week, Texas took care of business, shutting out San Jose State. Texas 56, San Jose State nothing. Vanderbilt 42, Alabama A&M nothing. Kansas and Central Michigan. Central Michigan improves to 2-0. Kansas falls to 1-1. Central Michigan today 45, Kansas 27. Gardner-Webb and Wyoming. The Wyoming Cowboys shut out Gardner-Webb. Gardner-Webb falling to 0-2. Wyoming 27. Gardner-Webb nothing. Wyoming is now 1-1. Tulsa, the Golden Hurricane. No pun or intended, but they are the Golden Hurricane. Tulsa 66, Louisiana 42. Georgia Southern and New Hampshire played today. New Hampshire improved to 2-0, scoring all points in the first half, 22, and then holding off Georgia Southern, who scored all their points in the second half. So 22, New Hampshire, Georgia Southern 12. So New Hampshire's 2-0. Georgia Southern falls to 0-2. This was an interesting game. The game at Autzen Stadium. Oregon jumped out to about a 42-14 lead. And then Nebraska scored 28, I believe it was 28 unanswered points. But unfortunately for the Cornhuskers of Nebraska, the Oregon Ducks, under the new Coach Taggart administration, Oregon 42, Nebraska 35. Nebraska falls to 1-1. Oregon improves to 2-0. Josh Rosen, 22 out of 25, 329 yards and 5 touchdowns over a game Hawaii Rainbow team. This was seen on the Pac-12 network. I did view this game. UCLA 56, Hawaii 23. UCLA improves to 2-0. They're going to be going to Memphis next week. And Hawaii falls to 2-1. Once again, UCLA 56, Hawaii 23. The Cal Bears beat Weber State. I believe that's another Big Sky representative, if I'm not correct, Weber State being them. Pac-12 Cal Bears improved to 2-0. Cal 33, Weber State 20. Troy and Alabama State. Troy improved to 1-1. Alabama State fell to 0-2. It was Troy 34, Alabama State 7. North Carolina State and Marshall. North Carolina State 37, Marshall 20. Both teams 1-1. South Dakota 35. They improved to 2-0 over Bowling Green 27. Arkansas, Pine Bluff, and Akron. The Zips of Akron played. Akron improved to 1-1. They scored 52 today. Arkansas Pine Bluff fell to 1-1. They scored 3. So Akron 52, Arkansas Pine Bluff 3. Southern Methodist University 54, North Texas 32. Idaho 44. I'm sorry, check that. UNLV 44 after Howard beat them last week. They had to come back and shellac somebody, right? So UNLV 44, Idaho, the Vandals 16. Toledo and Nevada. Toledo 37, the Nevada Wolfpack 24. Toledo improves to 2-0. Nevada falls to 0-2. South Carolina 31, Missouri 13. Nicholls State and Texas A&M. Texas A&M, of course, lost 45-44 in a thriller at the Rose Bowl. However, Kevin Sumlin would have a different perspective on that, being the losing coach. And there's been many people over social media and so forth calling for his firing and actually sending, unfortunately, racist letters to his home, threatening him just for losing a football game. So not a good thing going on in Texas A&M, no matter how you look at it. Texas A&M 24, Nicholls State 14. Nicholls State falls to 1-1. And, of course, Texas A&M evens its record at 1-1. So we'll find out going forward what's going to happen with that. Southern Mississippi and Louisiana Tech played this evening. Southern Mississippi 45, Louisiana Tech 21. Southern Mississippi is 1-1. Louisiana Tech, despite the loss, falls to 1-1. Illinois 20, Western Kentucky, the Hilltoppers 7. Baylor and the University of Texas at San Antonio. Can things get any worse for the Baylor Bears? Not only is their program been under scrutiny for some less than stellar conduct by players and coaches, for that matter, UTSA beat Baylor in their opener. University of Texas San Antonio, this is not a misprint, 17. The Baylor Bears, after getting toasted by Steve Buckshot Calvert and the Liberty Flames last week in a very entertaining game. If you're a non-Baylor fan out of the Big 12 there, Baylor falls to 0-2. UTSA 17, Baylor 10. Baylor's going to have to start over real soon. Rice and UTEP. Rice 31, UTEP 14. UTEP falls to 0-2. Rice evens their record at 1-1. Due to Hurricane Irma, which is threatening a lot of lives. Category 3, I understand. And the last I checked, 120-mile-an-hour winds, gust up to 155. It's getting really interesting that way. But it has affected the sports world in some negative ways today. We have canceled games between Florida State and Louisiana Monroe. Arkansas State and Miami couldn't play. South Florida and UConn also were canceled, as was Florida and Northern Colorado. And in the Thursday game, the Utah State team beat Idaho State. Utah State 51, Idaho State 13. And then on Friday, if you missed these scores, we'll give them to you again. Oklahoma State 44, South Alabama 7. Alcorn State and FIU, Florida International University, improved themselves to 1-1. Alcorn State fell to 1-1. Florida International University 17, Alcorn State 10. Purdue, the Boilermakers, beat Ohio State Purdue improved to 1-1. Ohio fell to 1-1. Once again, Purdue 44, Ohio 21. Okay, so that should wrap up the scores as I have them, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to now transition, if we can, into some baseball. Tonight's scores, I have all the finals available to me. We're going to give you some highlights. I guess right off the top, we need to give kudos to the Cleveland Indians, the Terry Francona's team. 17 wins in a row. Cleveland over Baltimore 4-2. 4 runs, 9 hits, no errors for the Indians. 5-0 for the Orioles. Once again, Indians win their 17th straight game. 4 and the Orioles 2. They're the second team since 1961 to win 17 straight games. The New York Yankees and the Texas Rangers played this evening. Yankees 3, Rangers 1. Severino got by the Rangers. The Yankees had 3 runs, 9 hits, 1 error. The Rangers, 1 run on 1 hit and no errors. So great effort by the Yankees today. They're going to continue their series with Texas tomorrow. The Milwaukee Brewers out-touchdowned the Chicago Cubs. The Brewers, with 2 touchdowns and an extra point, beat the reigning World Series champion, Chicago Cubs, 15-2. Brewers 15, Cubs 2. Milwaukee scored 8 times in the 3rd inning to seal that one. Doubleheader, game 1. The Houston Astros and the Oakland Athletics. The Athletics destroyed the Houston Astros. 11-1 in the first game. 11 runs, 11 hits for the Athletics. And 1 run, 5 hits, and 2 errors for the Astros. Centeno left after Jed Lowry, his bat hit his head. So we're hoping for Centeno to be fine once again. Game 1 of a doubleheader. Oakland 11, Houston 1. The Detroit Tigers retooling, getting quite younger, quite fast with the trade of Justin Verlander, and then Justin Upton to the Angels, among other trades. They played the Toronto Blue Jays. The Toronto Blue Jays beat the Detroit Tigers 5-4 today. Blue Jays, 5 runs, 13 hits, no errors. Tigers, 4 runs, 8 hits, no errors. And Pilar hit a home run for Toronto, putting Toronto ahead to stay. The Washington Nationals and the Philadelphia Phillies played today. The Phillies prevailed 5-4 over the Washington Nationals. Franco smashes a home run to deep center field to help Philadelphia to the 5-4 win. 5 runs, 9 hits, and 1 error for the Phillies. The Nationals, 4 runs, 7 hits, no errors. The Rays of Tampa Bay and the Red Sox of Boston. The Red Sox won their 4th straight game tonight. Red Sox, 9 runs, 15 hits, no errors. Shut out the Rays, no runs, 8 hits, and 2 errors for the struggling Rays. The San Francisco Giants and the Chicago White Sox played today. The San Francisco Giants lost to the Chicago White Sox 13-1. And Abreu hit for the cycle for Chicago. The Miami Marlins and the Atlanta Braves played this evening. The Braves, 6 runs, 13 hits, 1 error. Marlins, 5 runs, 9 hits, no errors. The Braves improved to 63 and 78, 32 and 39 at home, and there was a ninth inning walk in walk-off fashion, not to be redundant, but a ninth inning walk that was enabled the Braves to walk off with the win in the ninth inning. If we can say that 10 times fast, I'll be a tongue twister expert. The New York Mets and the Cincinnati Reds played this evening. The Mets 6, the Reds 1. The Mets 6 runs, 9 hits, no errors. The Cincinnati Reds 1 run, 4 hits, no errors. Both teams struggling and playing out the string. The front-running Minnesota Twins in the American League wild card race played the Kansas City Royals. The Twins, who have been doing great, surprisingly great, lost to the Royals. The Royals 5 runs, 11 hits, no errors. The Twins 2 runs, 9 hits, no errors. Royals 5, Twins 2. The Pirates and the Cardinals in a National League Central battle tonight. The Cardinals 4 runs, 4 hits, 1 error. The Pirates 3 runs, 7 hits, 1 error. So the Cardinals continue to put pressure on the Brewers in the National League Central race for a possible wild card spot. Cardinals 4, Pirates 3. And in the second game of a doubleheader, once again, the Athletics won Game 2, 11-4. 11 runs, 14 hits, 2 errors for the Athletics. And 4 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Astros. Once again, that's Game 2 of a doubleheader. Excuse me. Moving along, this game was very interesting. The next game I'm going to give you, the Arizona Diamondbacks. Bullpen gave up 6 runs in the ninth inning. The Diamondbacks, who are about ready to secure a wild card spot, possibly playing the Colorado Rockies. The Padres 8, Diamondbacks 7. That is a final. You may have seen this game in the United States on the Major League Baseball Network. And the last 2 games of the night, both finals, Mitch Haniger and Nelson Cruz. 32 homers, 107 RBIs. Leading the American League, Nelson Cruz had a home run, as did Mitch Haniger, acquired in the trade with the Diamondbacks for Taijuan Walker earlier in the year. The Mariners destroyed the Angels 8-1 tonight. Mariners with 8 runs, 11 hits, 2 errors. Angels 1 run on 6 hits and no errors. The Mariners were the only team to gain in the wild card race. They gained a game now. They are 3 games behind the front-running Minnesota Twins. The Angels do hold the second wild card spot, but once again, a very pivotal win for the pitching poor Mariners. The Mariners have used something like 39 pitchers throughout the year, and they've had many of their starters, including Paxton, Iwakuma, and, of course, Ace Felix Hernandez on the DL for much of the year. So to have the Mariners at least within shouting distance of a second wild card spot is actually a good thing. The Mariners improved to 39-35 at home, and once again, they've been hovering around the 500 mark all year. They're 71-71 with looks like about 20 games left in the 162 game schedule. Okay. The Los Angeles Dodgers are starting to concern me. I did a podcast earlier in the week, which you can find on accessmediaglobal.com, talking about the losing history of the Dodgers over the years and why certain generational Dodger fans should be very concerned about what's going on in Los Angeles. Tonight, the Dodgers attempted a comeback, but Kenley Jansen gave up a pivotal run in the eighth inning, and then Logan Forsythe hit a solo shot for the Dodgers to bring them within 6-5, but that was it. The Dodgers have lost 14 out of 15 games and 9 losses in a row. So it was the Dodgers, 5 runs on 8 hits, 2 errors. The suddenly surging Rockies improved to 77 and 65. They had 6 runs, 11 hits, and 2 errors. So that should wrap up the MLB portion of the podcast. Like I said, very concerned about the Dodgers because essentially this is the wrong time to be losing games. You have 3 weeks left of the season. The final Sunday of the season is October 1st. You have 3 weeks left to go. You're trying to determine a roster with the players that you have and who you're actually going to play. The Dodger lead in the National League West, which once was a healthy 21 games, is down to 10. I also wanted to say, I forgot to give you this little tidbit when I did the Arizona Diamondbacks score for you, the 8-7 victory by the Padres. The Padres, Andy Green's team has actually reduced the magic number for the National League West for the Dodgers. It was at 13 forever, and you can understand with losing 14 out of 15 how that magic number wouldn't move. But with tonight's victory, San Diego actually helped the Dodgers by reducing the magic number to clinch the National League West to 11 through no fault of their own. So it's going to be an interesting run for the Dodgers. Everything went right for the Dodgers for the first 4 months of the season. Now they can't do anything right. And that may be because Messrs. Seager, Bellinger, Turner, and so forth have not been in the lineup. But they haven't been in the lineup together since August the 19th. But we'll see what Dave Roberts does. He's a great manager. But I will say there's a little voice in the back of my head wondering if the Dodgers are going to make it out of the first round of the playoffs. They've made the playoffs the last 4 years. And, of course, last year lost to the eventual world champion Cubs, which is nothing to be ashamed of. But the fact of the matter is we want to see the Dodgers out of the first round. And they haven't done anything world title-wise since 1988. And 1988 was a long time ago because I still had beautiful curly hair and I was only 22. So that's how long that's been. Anyway, you do the math. I want to finish tonight with the promised prep football scores. This is week 2. Actually, week 3 of football, but week 2 for most teams. Dos Pueblos High of Goleta, California beat Ragetti High School of Santa Maria, the Ragetti Warriors. Dos Pueblos 24, Chargers, the Ragetti Warriors nothing. The Cardinal of Bishop Diego 45 over the Nipomo Titans 3. The St. Joseph Knights and St. Bonaventure. St. Joseph 42, St. Bonaventure 12. Orchid Academy 66, Mojave 30. Lompoc, the Lompoc Braves, very strong team. Won a couple of CIF titles in the Northern Division the last few years. Lompoc destroyed the San Marcos Royals of Santa Barbara. That's your Alex Mack school. Center Alex Mack, late of the Atlanta Falcons. Lompoc 72, San Marcos 14. The homestanding Warriors, Carpinteria Warriors here in Carpinteria, California, beat the Morro Bay Pirates 27-10. Rick Candell, new coach for Carpinteria, replacing Ben Halleck after 38 years, receded for their first win 27-10. And next week, the Warriors will be playing, I believe it is Napomo. So that was going to... Oh, I have a couple more scores to give you. Sorry about that. Santa Maria, 46. Cabrillo, 24. And my final score tonight, Valley Christian Academy, 61. Fraser Mountain, 22. So what I'm saying to you is, my final commentary is going to be on the Women's Tennis Association match between Sloane Stephens and Madison Keys. I think, ladies and gentlemen, we need to look out for Sloane Stephens. Sloane Stephens has some serious game. She has some serious box office potential because she's a very attractive African-American woman. She could be the next Venus Williams as far as I'm concerned. Not that Serena Williams won't have anything to say about that, but I want to say this. There's not much that moves me in my later years because I'm pretty much, someone accused me of being mean, a non-emotional guy, et cetera, et cetera. But I have to say that 6-3, 6-love, 2-set victory, straight sets over Madison Keys, who was ranked and seeded number 15. Sloane Stephens came in there ranked number 83 in the world from 960 just a few short months ago. She was unranked, but she had a wonderful tournament. As I said, believe she has an it factor. She has a lot of charm, a lot of good media savvy, and very, very smart. She surgically took apart her friend, Madison Keys. And here's the point, ladies and gentlemen. One of the reasons I do this podcast is because I'd like to present to you information, but even more than that, it's bringing the love of sports as a unifier. And, Sloane Stephens being an African-American, darker-skinned individual, Madison Keys being Caucasian, it was wonderful to see that after this match, not only did they speak to each other and they hugged each other across the net, and as Madison Keys is shedding tears, Sloane Stephens, her friend, is trying to comfort her, and so forth and so on. And even they actually had a moment where they sat together next to each other. I don't know if you saw those shots, but it was very, very wonderful to see. And it just illustrates to me that we still can unify. It may be one of the only places now where we can unify as people. Now, in terms of other unifiers, tragedy and crisis will unify us. I guarantee Houston is a unified city. I also guarantee that after Hurricane Irma does what it's going to do to the state of Florida, Floridians will come together. I believe that because we have our problems as United States citizens. But one thing we do in my lifetime, we help each other in the state of crisis. It is very, very sad that we as a nation have to be, it has to come to that to be unified. But it was very, very sweet to see Madison Keys, a Caucasian tennis player, embrace the African-American dark-skinned tennis player, Sloane Stephens, who won the championship. Matter of fact, Sloane Stephens took her apart. 1 hour and 23 minutes. I mean, it was like she just took a knife out and carved her up and spit her out. I'll just put it to you like that. She is worth the ticket price. She is one to watch. I'm going to put the sporting public on notice. Sloane Stephens may be the heir apparent to Venus and or Serena Williams or both of them. She will win her fair share of Grand Slams. She will be commercialized. She will be getting her endorsements, I believe. All she needs to do is continue to commit to her craft, and her obvious skills and ability will take care of themselves. I'm Mark Janish. This is the From the Bench podcast for September 9th, 2017. Have a great NFL Week 1 football opener, season opener. I'm going to be back on Monday. We're going to talk some NFL football. Those of you that are Ram fans, if you have access to Fox Sports West, regional sports network in Southern California, I would recommend you watch any opportunity. Rams 360 will give you a comprehensive view in 30 minutes of the state of the Los Angeles Rams as they prepare to meet the Indianapolis Colts. You can go listen to Thursday, September 7th podcast for all my college picks and pro picks. Not going to go through those again tonight. They're already up on Stitcher Radio, the From the Bench podcast. They're up on Libsyn. I'm not using SoundCloud, but we do have a SoundCloud opportunity up there. There's 43 podcasts you can listen to. I'm going to exclusively be going with Libsyn and Stitcher, so you're welcome to tune in to the From the Bench podcast. Don't forget the website, accessmediaglobal.com. Lots of information there for you to peruse. The website is being rebuilt and reconfigured, so bear with me in that. It's been a slower process than I would like, but it is getting done slowly but surely. And you can follow me on Twitter. Mark Janish, MarkJanisch, at capital M Mark, capital M, lowercase ARK, at Access Media. Mark, capital M ARK, lowercase, at Access Media. From the bench, I'm Mark Janish, wishing you a very pleasant rest of your weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday, September 11th, as we take some time to remember the tragedy of the fall of the Twin Towers and the loss of 3,000 lives in one of the most devastating terror attacks to hit the United States. September 11th, 2001. We're going to pause and we're going to remember, but we're going to do some sports. But we do also want to acknowledge those that lost their lives in the horrific attacks of September 11th, 2001. For the From the Bench podcast, accessmediaglobal.com, the associated website, I'm your host, Mark Janish, saying God bless you, God keep you, and Houston and the state of Florida, I continue to pray for you diligently. Good night, everyone, and thanks for listening.